the issue of pastoral care. And it is enormous, you know, because it's about pastoral care of each other. It's about pastoral care of the students particularly. And it takes all different types of forms, formally and informally, in the way in which we try and do the best. It's actually about, in terms of those leadership capabilities, it's about engaging the community. It's about knowing about the people that we're working with and the people that we're teaching, because if they're not engaged, they can't learn, you know. So, and they have a right to learn. And so, what we came up with in terms of the pastoral care aspect was some questions about policies and about practices, and the feedback, the synthesis of the responses that you've given, again, reflected this desire to be more involved in decisions. And you think, well, what does that mean, you know? And there were points made about Kids Matter, there were points made about student voice, and so on. What we're going to focus on particularly, this comes out of the response, I think, from a number of people or groups at the staff meeting, was where are we in terms of PBL, positive behaviour for learning. The focus is on respect for self, for others, for the environment, and it takes the form in relation to each of those, I suppose, dimensions or strands, in terms of those types of things that say this is what we stand for at our place, and it's guided by our values of faith, hope, and love. So what we're doing, we respect, justice, and joy. So there's a lot there. What I'd like us to do is take this as a sort of a second policy sort of issue or a governance issue, and consider where we go with PBL in relation to some implementation questions. See, one of the aspects, if you think about governance as decision-making, organised decision-making, about translating what's important into results or transforming values into performance, those sorts of things, then you're asking questions about how things are going. And this is really, you cut away all of the jargon about implementation and monitoring, and it's really about how things are going with, in this example, PBL. So we're asking questions here about what types of evidence are we collecting and should we be collecting? What's the evidence telling us? Why is it so, and what should we do? What, if anything, should we do about it? So they're straightforward. In fact, they're deceptively simple questions when it comes to things like behaviour management and pastoral care. But as a community, as a Catholic school community, they're the sorts of questions that are foundational to governance decisions about pastoral care.